Hey everybody. I know it's been a while since I've had a video. This is technically an old story, but I'm gonna need the big vape for this one and two bolters to deal with this fucking heresy. This is some serious shit, man. Ugh. I'll tell you one thing. One of the stories I have problems with, even though I don't have children, one of the stories I have problem with is child abuse. And this is one of these weird child abuse stories where you're sitting up here and you're going, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? So, I found out about this story back in, I'd say around August 30th, August 31st. And what it is, it's a story of Ruby Franke and Judi Hildebrandt. Now, some of you may have heard this story already. Basically, Ruby Franke and Judi Hildebrandt were two women who were mothers. And they started a YouTube channel and all of this other stuff on Instagram about how to raise your children appropriately. Well, let me make sure I have this correct. Last week, it says here, Ruby Franke, the mother of six behind the family YouTube channel, 8 passengers, has been charged with 6 felony counts of felony child abuse by Washington County attorney in Utah. That's going to be prominent in a moment. A spokesperson for the attorney's office confirmed to NBC News on Tuesday. Franke and her business partner were arrested last week. So September 5th is when this article was written. You go back 7 days, that would have been August 25th or 26th or something like that. So it says here, Franke and her business partner, Judi Hildebrandt, were arrested last week after law enforcement found Franke's 12-year-old son emaciated and with open wounds and duct tape on his wrists and ankles. The boy had climbed out of a window of Hildebrandt's home and ran to a neighbor's house for help, according to a probable cause affidavit acquired by NBC News. Franke's 10-year-old daughter was found at Hildebrandt's home. Now, Franke is the mother of these 6 kids. Hildebrandt is another woman, and I'll explain in a moment what she's all about. Found in a similar malnourished condition, according to the affidavit. Officials said the condition of the children was so severe that they were transported to a local area hospital. Franke's 4 minor children were taken into care of Utah's Division of Child and Family Services. Hildebrandt was also charged with 6 counts of felony child abuse. Each count carries a prison sentence of up to 15 years and a fine of up to $10,000. There are 2 juvenile victims in these cases. Each defendant is accused of causing or permitting serious physical injury to the victims in 3 ways. A combination of multiple physical injuries or torture, starvation or malnutrition that jeopardizes life, and causing severe emotional harm, the county attorney said. A lawyer for Franke and Hildebrandt are still in custody as of this thing right here. It is unclear whether Hildebrandt has retained representation. Both are expected to appear in court for their hearings on Friday, according to probable cause affidavit. Okay, Franke rose to prominence in 2015 through the 8 Passengers YouTube channel, which featured her husband Kevin, and their 6 children. Subscribers, the channel had a following of nearly 2.3 million subscribers before it was taken down earlier this year. Ruby Franke frequently collaborated on parenting and relationship advice videos with Hildebrandt for Connections, spelled Connexons. So it's almost like Connections. If you haven't tried to spell it out completely, but just say it's Connections. Hildebrandt's life coaching service criticized for its extreme teachings, including rejecting children who do not abide by their beliefs. YouTube confirmed to NBC News last week that it had terminated 2 channels related to Franke. Then it says here, correction, September 16, 2023. A previous version of this article misstated whom among Franke's children were taken into care of the Utah Division of Child and Family Services. It was her 4 minor children, not her 4 other children. She and her husband have 6 children total. So all the children were taken. Let's just go ahead and say it, because there ain't no way they're going to leave the 2, unless Franke had 2 adult children that weren't in the home. But either way, okay. So MSNBC has another article about this chick. Hildebrandt has kids herself, yes. But you see pictures of this woman, of these 2 women together. They're always smiling and laughing. They went on trips together to all these different places. And it feels a lot like, honestly, like a pair of lesbians. I look at some of this stuff and I see a whole shit ton of lesbianism. It just reeks of dykiness. Now, Hildebrandt herself has 2 sons, has 2 kids, a son and a daughter. But she has kept her private life very, very private. She has a husband. She had a husband, which she had these 2 kids with, and they divorced sometime in 2012. But almost nothing is known about this woman. It's like she's a ghost. You don't even know the name of the kids. You know her husband, her ex-husband's name, but it's like she has absolutely no existence beyond her her quote unquote practice in dealing with family and child psychology. Some articles here from Microsoft, from the Microsoft MSN channel kind of thing, says that what we know about Hildebrandt in the wake of her arrest for child abuse. Hildebrandt, 54, is a life coach, author, and creator of Connections in Utah, which touts itself as a counseling service for parents. Hildebrandt is also a divorced mother of 2. While not much is known about her kids, multiple reports identified one of them as Addison Hildebrandt through Judi's Connections videos. In the clips, Judi often invoked her name in reference to the inspiration for her parenting practices. Additionally, we also know Judi was married to Breton C. Pugh, who is the father of her children. The couple who tied the knot in 1999 reportedly separated in 2012. Now, also, Hildebrandt is a Mormon. That's why I was saying her living in Utah is an important thing. Utah is a largely Mormon state. The Mormons overall are very well known for not only polygamy, child abuse, incest, deadbeat dads. You know, the guy has 3 wives and he never works. He just sits at home. So we could argue that a lot of Hildebrandt's weird-ass way of doing shit probably stems from the Mormon church. According to some articles, such as this one, Ruby and Kevin Franke, a Mormon couple with 6 children, whose names I won't speak on here. The 8 passengers behind, Sherry, Chad, Abby, Julie, Russell, and Eve were behind the 8 passengers YouTube vlogging channel, which launched in 2015. The channel gained nearly 2.3 million subscribers, was shut down after she faced backlash over her parenting message. This is Ruby Franke herself. Shortly after, Franke aligned herself with Connections, a parenting and business counseling service spearheaded by Judi Hildebrandt. She then announced the 2 would be launching a podcast where they would dole out parenting advice and discuss various cultural issues. Last week, a judge decided Franke and Hildebrandt, who are facing 6 felony charges of child abuse, would be held without bail. The duo, whose bond hearings are slated for 21 September, are also facing 15 years in prison and a fine of up to $10,000 under Utah law. Yeah, it's Utah. Yeah, it's Utah. Utah is like the Florida of the Northwest. Oh, boy. There's a number of things, but I'm going to go give my opinion on this directly. This seems like a woman who is just twisted and fucked up herself, who started applying whatever. It's almost like a mixture of Frankenstein and just Sigmund Freud. This woman, she had her counseling and psychiatry license suspended back in 2016, maybe 2018, because of controversial things she had done with her clients, Hildebrandt. But she still maintains this air in the community of she's some really sweet and good person. But everything she does is about accusations, shame, mistreatment, especially of children. Most of her clients who have spoken out against her recently are children. She doesn't seem to do much with adults other than the classic accusation of you're addicted to porn, you're addicted to masturbation, you're addicted to shame, being shameful. It sounds like somebody took a preacher and mixed his brain in with Sigmund Freud and threw out the most extreme bullshit as a psychologist. And this woman was getting away with this for at least a decade plus before Ruby Franke. There's an interview with her niece who's named Jessie. And Jessie describes being duct taped, having duct tape put over her mouth, being tied and duct taped to chairs, being starved, being threatened constantly with abandonment and other things, saying, you just have to tell me the truth, confess your sins, confess that you've done bad things, and I'll make this torture stop. What the fuck? So now, the question is, how hard is this going to go? The media has talked about this, but I've seen some stuff on YouTube, but not very much. This is a nightmare case. And I'm sitting here and I'm going, okay, what are we going to do about these two? What are we going to do with these two? How many people have been influenced and have done what Frank and Hildebrandt have done to their own children and may not know what has happened? My God in heaven. YouTube is cancer. I mean, they complain about us conservatives and all this other stuff, and then we got shit like this going down on YouTube, and you're sitting here, you going, who's the monster now? Last I checked, I ain't seen Sargon or anybody else promote child abuse. It's insanity. As far as these two women go, I would put more of this on Hildebrandt because it's obvious that Frank was easily manipulated and used, but she got to pay the piper too. So as my good friend Hardbasket would say, under the jail or yeet into the sun. I prefer under the jail. Yeeting them to the sun, that's expensive, costly, into a volcano, into a really hard wall with spikes on it. That's letting them off easy. These people abused children. One took advantage of people who are desperate to raise their children right. The other one was an idiot that abused her children on the premise that she was saving her children, led by this lunatic. So, and give a Frankie maybe 5 years less, 2 or 3 years less. Hildebrandt under the fucking jail. Under the fucking jail. Give her a life sentence. Not 25 years, not 40 years. Give her 60 years. She's already 50. So, she's going to make sure she dies in prison. That's how I see this. That's what needs to happen to this bitch. Her ass needs to go to jail for fucking life. Because she hasn't just ruined six other children's lives. She must have ruined countless other people's lives. She needs to pay. This is why I don't like talking about these stories. Because I get angry. Bitch needs to pay. Put her in jail for 50. She needs to die in prison. If the inmates don't get her first. And I'm not for prison justice, but in this case, I'm like, yes, prison justice. This guy needs to die in prison. Yeah, hey, straight up. Straight up, I feel that way. As far as Frank, she probably needs therapy and a few years in prison, too. I hate it for her children, though. I hope they can survive this and become better people. It's really just messed up. This whole situation is messed up. I'm praying for everybody involved. All right, folks. Everybody take care and have a blessed day.